it is my privilege to introduce our guest for today. She is a gospel artist, and she's going to be singing. That's right, give it up, okay. There you go. You know what? You need a mic. Give me 1 second. We need to make sure we could hear her. Okay, here we go. Okay. And she's going to be singing tonight at our Gospel Fest, which starts 6 p.m. Outside Calvary Chapel if you guys want food. 7 p.m., okay, with chapel credit, okay, in Calvary Chapel for Gospel Fest tonight. So she'll be singing at our Gospel Fest. And then she just released a single. This is the day, number 5 on the Gospel Billboard music charts. So that's right.
Available on iTunes.
There you go.
Spotify, Google Play, all of that. If you'd like, only 99 cents.
All right, well, we're grateful to have you here. Help me welcome Lena Byrd-Miles.
Thank you.
Lena, how did you get started in gospel music, and what does gospel music mean to you?
I actually got my start in church. My mother is a musician, and so is my father. My mother plays the organ at my granddad's church in Oakland, California. And of course, because your family runs the church, you have to do what you're told when it's a small church. So sometimes when we didn't have a full choir, they would use the grandkids. And I have 2 younger sisters, and we started singing together. But before they were born, because I was the oldest, I was a solo artist before we became a trio.
Yeah.
So I would say about the age of 3 years old.
Wow.
My mom kind of, forcing me, get in here and sing, or get in here and rehearse these songs. I guess gospel music, it's just always been a part of me, a part of my life. And we're told even as young kids that gospel is good news. It's the good news of Jesus, and gospel music is just a vehicle used to express another version of, or another form of expressing God's good news, the good news of hope, faith, love, peace, joy, comforting messages. So that's what gospel music, and I pull on it whenever I need it. I pull on it when I have a good day. I pull on it when I'm in tough times. I'm in the hospital. I play a gospel song if somebody's sick, and you might, use that to encourage somebody who might be in a coma. Some people come out of it, and that's the first thing that they hear, or that's the hope for the family who may be awaiting you coming out of the coma, things like that. So gospel music is just good news being, reinforced.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? I would say most of our students here didn't grow up with gospel music. They grew up with things like Hillsong and Bethel. Okay, what are we missing if we don't listen to gospel music?
Probably just another form of art, creativity. Just not saying that we're more passionate, but sometimes.
No, you are. It's okay. You can say that.
African American singers, sometimes, we may kick off shoes and.
Yeah, there you go. Like you guys bring it.
So I won't say we're, a hazard to your life or a threat to anything, but you're definitely missing out on just a little bit more of our passion in delivery, I should say.
Yeah.
The way we deliver is a little different. We might be missing an earring because we give it our all, we twisting and turning, but it's another form of cardio.
There you go.
But definitely, I'd say it's a fun experience to experience our form of gospel music. You can join in sometimes if you come to a church, you may see a tambourine and you're open to play that. We invite you, we welcome you to play that.
Yeah.
Bring your piccolo, your kazoo. You can clap your hands. So it's just a little bit more expressive.
Completely. That's what I love about gospel music. It's very communal, right? And parts of gospel music is there's like a call and response aspect. Even like gospel churches might not even have lyrics on the screen just because the leader is kind of guiding that time. Or even we meditated on a line for a while, even in our first set.
Yeah.
What is so special about the communal aspects of gospel music?
Bringing us all together, I would say, and also centering the focus of what we're celebrating, or anyway, like we're talking about Jesus. So it centers the focus on, brings us all together, and then it's fun to kind of, you kind of get a singing vocal lesson in between. If I'm saying sing this and you sing it back to me, then we know it's very expressive. brings us all together. It's fun, and then you're learning and taking away a new song sometimes by force. You're like, I can't get that song out of my head.
Yeah.
But it's a fun way where we can all communicate to God together.
Yeah. I know gospel music is rooted in a rich history and tradition, that very spiritually rich, very biblically rich. I'd love for you to help us understand some of the important parts of the history of gospel music.
Well, it goes back so far. Even in like slavery times, it had messages of hope.
Yeah.
It was one of the ways that a lot of the Negro spirituals that you might hear was one of the ways that the slaves would communicate to one another with certain codes about trying to get to freedom. Gospel music was also used in trying to get through the Underground Railroad, things like that, just the messages of positivity when life was just so hard for them as slaves, and some of them couldn't read and write, but they could sing, and it would bring them comfort.
Yeah.
Even when they lost loved ones, trying to get to freedom, that was one way too, that, we would sing about the hope in what God was going to do in what would be called a promised land or land of freedom, or just not being, bound by life and what it has right now, but always looking forward to the eternal things of, our spirit and our soul. So
yeah, no, so good, so good. One thing that I think I hear from people is that the gospel worship leader tends to do a lot of runs and embellishments, and that's not a very common thing in the more westernized worship world. And so, help us understand what that is and why that's an important component of gospel music.
I think it's just another form of art.
Yeah.
Even if you look in jazz, you have your Ella Fitzgerald and how she communicated. Sometimes she wouldn't say words, but she would scat through a song, and you just be so captivated and so mesmerized. It's just another form of her way of expressing her gift. God gives us all different gifts. And even like a painter, you wouldn't tell him, don't use those colors, because it's too this, it's too bright, it's too that. You just, if you don't like it, you move on.
Yeah.
But it's the same way with a singer. It's just their way of expressing the art and the gift and the talent given to them. Runs can be embellishment. If you will. So it's not meant to. Some people kind of can abuse it, but I think it's their way until they're finding what is tasteful, what is not as, appealing to certain ears. But even we all have our audiences with everything. That's with a doctor, a lawyer.
That's right.
It's their form of expressing themselves, and, what is too much to another one is not enough to someone else. So
that's right.
We all have our preference.
No, I love that. It's like you don't tell the doctor not to do their medicine a certain way. It's like, oh, I know how to take Advil. You should do it like me.
Even though there's several doctors, they all have different practices.
That's right. That's right. I love that. Well, Lena, I watched some of your YouTube stuff. If you guys want to watch, you guys should check her out on YouTube. And I watched some of it, and I got to tell you, you have this prophetic way of leading worship, and you've got this way of guiding a congregation and saying and speaking things where it's like, that's exactly what I was feeling at that moment, or that's what I needed to hear. What are you doing as you're leading worship, and how are you trying to guide a congregation?
I kind of place myself in I guess I have my moments of meditation and devotion even before I lead a congregation, and I pray and ask God to, first thing, to give me what to say that would bring comfort, because I can't read minds.
Yeah.
I don't know, and we all collectively, have our different walks and backgrounds of life that lead us on certain paths and journeys. And we encounter certain trials and tribulations where we need God. A lot of us don't realize we need him in the capacities that we do, because humans are used to being in control. And when things get out of our control, we don't know what to do. Yeah. So that's one thing I always say, well, give me something to say that'll bring hope to the human who, may have used all their resources, all their sources. And now they're finally saying, okay, I want to see what this God is about. Let me, so my job is to promote him and to get your attention to want to seek him. That's kind of look to him and realize you have help. You can't see it and feel it, but he's there, and he's here to help you.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that about gospel music. There's so much hope, and there's so much turning to the way that God is going to deliver us from something.
Yeah.
Is there any other themes that gospel music might emphasize a little bit more that we might be missing out on if we only listen to some of the other things?
Definitely words of affirmation too. You know, God is he's a healer. He's a provider. A lot of our struggles, you know, kind of force us to a place where we look for him to be certain things. So even sometimes you may be having a day where you're like, okay, I'm feeling anxiety. You can just Google scriptures on hope and hope in anxiety, or scriptures of affirmation to read while I may be depressed. So it's just certain things that, you know, quickly will come up that'll encourage your spirit or encourage your mindset, and you can go on throughout the day. That's one of the things I do. I may type in promises of God, or scriptures to read when I'm feeling sad, scriptures to read when I'm feeling defeated, or scriptures to read when I feel like I'm not progressing. My friends may be getting promoted or married or having children, and I wish it was me. Things to do when my self-esteem is low, scriptures like that. So there's different messages like that even in gospel music and songs like that. And sometimes you can go on YouTube and type a song of healing, songs of comfort. When loved ones pass away, gospel music is there for that too.
I love that. I love that. I'd love for you to share just some of the gospel music artists that have influenced you and your music.
There's so many.
You could pick three.
Or there are musical families too. You have your Clark sisters, who may be well known. You have the Winans.
Yeah.
My other influence would be probably, and he was from Southern California. His name was Andre Crouch. You have your Fred Hammonds, temporary, bringing it up a little bit further. Then one of my biggest is Kim Burrell. She's a gospel artist as well. I love her. And then you have your worship leaders, Miranda Curtis, you have your newcomers on the scene, and your Dietrich Haddons, your pastors that are singers that have now become pastors and leaders. A lot of them have influenced me as well. So those were a few.
I love that. And I love that, you know, I don't know all those names, and I want to listen to all them. And there's a rich tradition that I'm missing out on here, and I love that.
You have tons of time.
And I've got time, and I want to explore. All right, we're going to call time out here. We're going to invite our gospel choir to lead us in a reflection song, and we're going to invite you guys to text in questions that we'll get to after our break. All right, here we go. Lena, we're going to ask a few questions, and this is the first one. I love gospel music, but as a white Christian, sometimes I feel conflicted about participating because it seems so deeply rooted in the rich spiritual heritage of the African American church, and I don't want to be insensitive. How do I best honor that?
I think it all depends on your spirit while singing it. I think motives are, God looks at our heart. So even if you're not insensitive, you know, depending on what the lyrics are, I don't feel like it would be an insensitive thing because we're communicating to God. It's not really for us, even though I understand that they're deeply rooted in there. But a lot of the gospel songs are to God or about God, not more so focusing on us. So when you remove the focus off of you and what our experiences were and make it about him, that's ultimately what the music I sing is promoting, that he gets glory out of it, not anything. Even though I've had a rough life, or some songs may start off with a story about that, but it also tells of the triumph in Jesus and what he brings, you know, once you accept him. So even though that may be a little bit touchy, I think maybe once she research some more, or he or she may research some more songs and find the real message in what they're wanting to sing, then they won't feel so conflicted.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Great, thank you for it. Here's another one. What's another genre of music that people might be surprised that you like? K-pop.
Probably just like classical every now and then, just to kind of train my ear a little bit, that I'd listen to the musicality or the instrumentation, I should say, more so than somebody singing something. I'd listen for whatever the musician. It might be a saxophonist, or just turning on the radio and being random. It might be some country. It might be some bluegrass. It might be something like, I kind of like like. It might shock me that I like it.
That's right.
So it's kind of like a reach in and just pick something with me. I don't really have anything that would throw me off unless, you got in the car and accidentally had your radio on maybe heavy metal or something and your volume is on 37 and you just turn the keys on. But I already have an afro, so I would be good.
All right. Here's I love it. I love the way you laugh. You're just enjoying this. I love that, okay? Here's another question. What is a misconception associated with gospel music that you wish could be addressed clearly? That's a great question.
That is.
Whoever wrote that, extra credit.
A misconception. Can you repeat it to me? I'm like, I don't really... Can you tell me again?
Yeah, so a misconception associated with gospel music that, you wish could be addressed more clearly or clarified so that it wouldn't be a misconception anymore.
I honestly don't know of any misconceptions that come to mind. So I probably would have to hear something that would throw me. It is a great question, but coming to mind, nothing that I've heard or that my mind is really drawing a blank. I don't have anything that I can say I've heard about gospel music that would throw me off.
All right.
Just yet.
Overly emotional. Too focused on emotionalism.
I guess that's just based on maybe the writer of the song or the person conveying the song, because a lot of the songs that we sing we can relate to, but that might not be everybody's experience.
Yeah.
Some people may have been born in better situations, so what we would be crying over, they wouldn't. It's easy for them to go and get money and things to do what they need to do, but for us, we really had songs that say, there was a time I couldn't find a dime, but God stepped in the nick of time, like I needed to pay something, and you literally may have been walking and boom, there's a dime. That might be super, something minor for the next person, but for us and our family, it might have been the only way we could have found some money to go buy just a package of top ramen. So we may be emotional because our life and our experiences were always emotional, or they always brought us to something traumatic, or they always brought us to something so, serious, whereas another family may have been born into an inheritance. So they don't know what it is to struggle. They don't know what it is to be hungry. They don't know what it is to sleep outside and be homeless or be too close to death, or to not have peace of mind. They may not know what it's like to have that because they were wealthy. They came from a great background. They always had people who had connections so they could get a job, where we had to pray, Lord, please send somebody. So we kind of get emotional in our delivery because that's our truth. You're owning your truth. So that's probably the best way I could explain.
Love that.
The way people deliver, because it's their truth. They're delivering it from their place of truth.
I love that. Here's another question. When did you know that it was your calling to be a gospel singer?
Oh, well, my parents told me you're going to do it and you're going to live here and you're going to like it. No.
At 3 years old, right?
Since I didn't want to be cribless and formula-less and bottle-less. No, it wasn't that young. I wasn't an infant being threatened. But I think so many testimonies started coming in, even from my teenage years, where so many people started coming up to me saying, I look up to you and you've always been kind, and your messages resonate with me through song. And even one young lady, I was singing in Atlanta, Georgia, and she saw one of my YouTube videos, and she just said, I came back to God. I walked away from him, but after hearing one of your songs, it pricked my heart and convicted me, and it brought me back to the Lord. So I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a person who would bring others to Christ through not just even my songs, but a lot of people say your personality. I follow you on Instagram. You always have me laughing, or we're always coming, to your page for morning giggles, things like that, because I do post memes. I have a meme addiction, or, things that tickle me. Sometimes people falling is funny to me. I don't know why God made that funny to some humans. And I'm clumsy, so I trip sometimes. So I guess that might be why it's funny to me. But things like that, I feel like all of it ties in. Who we are ties into our calling. And I'm a hairstylist as well. So certain moments where, I may have had to even send a song. I had a client who I was the first person she told after she got news of having cancer. She came back to the salon and asked me to pray for her and things like that, and asked for some songs that she can listen to that would really minister healing to her. Even though she went on to be with God a month later, but she was still in a point of where she, I still want to praise God through this. What can I listen to? What's some music you would, listen to if you were going through this? So things and moments like that really cause you to look into yourself and what your purpose is.
I love that. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Here's another song,
question.
Here's another question, okay?
Sing, students.
Can you, it is, yeah. Can you sing a verse of one of your favorite gospel songs? Yeah. I love it.
If I wasn't nervous before, I will. One familiar one that may be Amazing Grace. I'm sure people know it. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I can see. Woo! Woo! Thank you.
So good, so good. I love the choices of the colors you just brought into that, the musical colors.
Thank you. I'm a painter.
You are. It's just so much more vibrant the way you sing that. Okay, I love that. Here we go. Here's another question. Do you believe that worship through music on a Sunday morning should be a variety of musical styles, or is it better to hold more closely to a specific style?
I think it should be a variety because you have a variety and diversity of an audience a lot of times. So a message that may be, for a senior, a teenager might not be able to connect with. So you should choose music. You can't, I don't see a 3-year-old, saying, I've had some storms and some battles. You're 3. What was your storm? What was your battle? Climbing to get your favorite cereal? Or, it's like, watching your, Baby Shark, what was your real storm? But you do. I think sometimes we introduce certain songs, and even in Black families, a lot of times, they just sing a song that an adult is singing. You have to have kid-appropriate worship. You have to have teenage, where we can, young adults, older, and the next generation. I think you kind of fuse it all together, and maybe had some contemporary or some CCM gospel music, worship music, and then a lot of older people like hymns. So they might not want to hear rap or the gospel rap or whatever you add. So I think you have to add them all and fuse them all because your audience is broad. So
great, love that. Here's another question. How do you think the use of your body during worship, such as dancing, makes a difference in glorifying God?
Well, he wants our temples to be the best. So like I said, even being joking, it is cardio, but for some of us, that's the only exercise. You have people like me who I'm just giving money away to 24-hour fitness. I'm just giving it. Well, my husband is. Y'all don't tell him. Where, you get up, but I think it all, everything we do, God wants us to honor him, and that's even with what we put in, and not just in our bodies, but what we listen to, what we look at, things we view, certain things we entertain. So I think just ultimately we are to do that, but it helps with stamina, endurance, and sometimes you're like, okay, maybe I need to go back to the gym because I couldn't lead worship today.
Yeah.
I need to sit in some Epsom salt and soak. But once you do some certain things, it kind of builds, and we want to give God our best.
Yeah.
So our temples, we can't do that if our temples are not at their best. I hope I'm answering correctly.
Yeah. I mean, if I could add a little bit more, it's like, when I saw some of your YouTube clips, let's say, I felt your belief even in the way that you expressed it with your body. For me, it's kind of like I worship kind of like in my space.
Yeah.
This is how much I lift my hands. It's about as far as I go, But, and I do believe it's just, I saw the belief and I felt like, you know what? I want to believe a little bit more. So maybe I went up to here, so something like that.
Go
so I
Jesus,
feel like the
go
body,
Jesus.
there's something important about that too. I love that.
It does.
All right, here's another one. Tell us about your shirt. Inspired.
Well,
yeah.
When sometimes you walk through Kohl's and you see a sale, who wouldn't want 2 shirts for $13.99? Literally. See, this is how funny this is. I was in the active women's department of Kohl's because I was trying to buy gym wear. Just so maybe that'll be an incentive to get me to going back to the gym, right?
Yeah.
And then I just saw these shirts. I was like, these are, cute that I would. And you guys see, I don't have any active. I'm wearing them with jeans. The only active is my tennis shoes and my shirt. But actually, it just came from Kohl's. I saw the message, inspire, and thought it would be cool to wear today. There's really nothing else behind it. That Kohl's, shout out to Kohl's.
There you go.
I just plugged in.
Well, I mean, what you do through your music is to inspire as
Yes,
well, if
sir.
I could say so.
Yes.
All right. Well, Lena, the last question we ask is, what biblical principles have shaped your thoughts in preparation for today?
Earlier, just like I said, I'm one who will, when I need to pull on gospel, the good news, I go and read scriptures of affirmation or what we would consider to be God's promises. And if you don't mind, I'll read some of the ones that I kind of do to help. Luke 24:36 says, as I follow Jesus and I walk with him, I have peace. Because I place my hope in the Lord, my strength is renewed. That's Isaiah 40:31. When I call out to God, he answers me. He tells me things I wouldn't know otherwise. That's Jeremiah 33:3. So I read scriptures like that, things that'll keep my mindset at a, higher level so that when certain things come, I can pull on that. Things that, whatever adversity that comes with the day, I'm not really focusing on that. It's like, I have a big God, so these little problems, I'll just let him have. There's scriptures that says we can cast our cares on the Lord, for he cares for us. So since he cares, here, you take this, God. I can't handle it anyway. I can't do things on my own, so I give it to God. And I go about my day with laughter and joy and peace and good food and friends.
There we go.
And inspired shirts from Kohl's.
All right. Help me thank Lena for sharing with us today. All right.
Discover who you're called to be at Biola University, a leading Christ-centered university in Los Angeles, with programs on campus and online. Subscribe for more of our videos and learn more at biola.edu.